Hello, I'm Shannon Shepherd. I'm an art teacher at Betsy Lane High School, and today I'm going to present to you a little overview along with a PowerPoint of a grant that we got through KVEC. The grant that we received was titled Old School Innovation Animation. And so what we did at the beginning is we just defined the word animation, art in motion. And I'm an art teacher. I have art students. And so we took an interest that they had. Very at the beginning of the school year, I interviewed them and kind of figured out what they wanted to do. And I had several students really interested in animation. So we began to look at animation as our grant. So we took, first we looked at the past and learned how it began and who helped it begin. I had a student that really kind of took lead in this, and he presented this to us as a class. We learned the history, learned the different uses of animation or how it began from the very simple and complicated even up until it began to use paper. Here's that student presenting this to our class. His name is Chandler Hall. And in the video, or in the image here, he also introduces us to the 12 principles of animation. We took those 12 principles and we started using those in our artwork, looked at them as we were doing and drawing animation. So this is just kind of a breakdown of us figuring out what those 12 principles are. Kids actually did little tiny assignments that focused on each of those to help us figure them out. We also looked at 5 types of animation that's around us and that people use. And this actually was going to segue into going from a 2D, which happens to be near the top there, to 3D, or some of the more modern day uses of this, but of course digital as well. And this is our students getting the materials that was provided by the grant from KVEC, and we're looking at them and figuring out how to use them. We took the students, here's Chandler again. He's telling us what all these materials are for. Chandler really was very motivated to do this, and so he kind of took lead and he figured out how to do this and show us how to use these materials. And here's an example of him showing us how to use the materials and how to go lay it out, and the pencil and the peg clip and the paper and all that stuff. And so here this is just him encouraging us to take our time and little by little. And animation can be a little bit repetitious, I guess you know that. And so another example of a close-up of him working on individual cells. I want to say that at this point you could take your digital camera or your phone and take a shot of each one of these cells, and there's apps that you can download on your phone, and you can then go back in and animate it using your phone, because we had several kids to do that after this point here. And so now students were working on this and in guided practice. They'd actually taken materials home, and that's where it is at present. As you know, we are kind of in quarantine right now, and that's why we are doing this video like such. But I have several students who have responded to me and told me that they've got 10-second videos made or animations made, and some of them are really enjoying this and having a ball with it and learning, but doing art. Outcomes: students learned about animation. They learned several of the artists involved at the beginning. They learned the process. Students created individual pieces. We learned that animation is all around us, from the little memes on your phones, the GIFs to billboards. It's everywhere. Animation is throughout our world today, and everything we use and see, advertisements, of course, but all different art forms, animation. Students really wanted to know about the students that really wanted to learn about this. Of course, they jumped into it head first, and they really enjoyed it. I had a couple kids start directly on their drawing tablets or digital tablets and doing it that way. Reflection, of course, I should have started this earlier as a teacher. I'd planned on doing it in November, and we would have been finished probably by March, but we were in January getting started. The students had the materials, and they're investigating from home, and that's the best part. They're consumable products, but they're using them, and they're creating, and they're making art right now. I want to leave you with this. Walt Disney said to think, to believe, to dream, and to dare. Isn't that what we do almost every day that we get up? We kind of, I apply this. I love artist quotes, and most of the time I try to use them in my teaching, and I try to use them when I do things like this. But I think that we can all find positivity or motivation sometimes by some other people's words and thoughts. So I want to thank you for watching. Thank you to KVAC for providing the materials for my students. And I just appreciate the opportunity again to work with you, and my kids do too.